Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to rounds 3 and 4 at with Gavra Racing. I'm Jack TM53, your commentator, as always, for this Tier 2 lobby, and it's a delight to be racing around a circuit that is quite less known around this F1 23 calendar compared to the usual stalwarts of the championship, the Losail International Circuit. Not one that the drivers particularly know very well, but they will have to become acquainted around this 5.4 kilometer circuit with 16 corners. No doubt the drivers will be having spent quite a bit of practice time getting themselves up to speed, and maybe some of them even using the racing line around this Doha circuit. Doha, of course, being the capital of Qatar, for those that are unaware. But before we go into the action that's on circuit at the moment, I can see that you're following one of the Alpines at the moment. So I say one of the Alpine, the only Alpine on the circuit of J-Dog in. Just going to run you through the championship standings at the present moment. Anzar took a double victory last week for rounds 1 and 2, which means he's on 50 points. Perfect start to his season. The Steps is second on 30 with J-Dog, the man you're on board with, in third on 26. Ubisoft Toy TA is fourth on 23, and Spanel is fifth on 20 points. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, it's a little bit more close in that regard. Alfa Romeo, which is, of course, Anzar and Cody P, they are on 52 points. McLaren are second on 49, so very close already between those two drivers' teams. Third is Alpine on 30, with Haas and Williams fourth and fifth on 23 and 21 points respectively. So drivers will have a chance now to get themselves acquainted with the circuit if they haven't already done. And at the moment, we're following one of the Mercedes. Looks like Cable Monkey out on circuit at the moment. He's coming around the middle sector of the course, just going around turn 11. Now, I said earlier that this is a track typically the drivers would be unaware of, even though F1 has raced here before in F1 21 when Lewis Hamilton won around the track. It predominantly has been, since it opened in 2004, a MotoGP circuit. So the track is a little bit different for overtaking opportunities. It's more laid out for those two-wheeled motorbikes, and Cable Monkey's just coming across the line now. I think he's about to set a lap time, and it's going to be a 1:24.4. Good to see Cable Monkey in the lobby. He was having a few issues getting in, but he is out on circuit, which is really positive to see. Let's see if we can find someone going onto a lap. I imagine a lot of people are just going in for their in-laps, as in going into the pits, for those that don't know what an in-lap is. But I'm just looking to see how everyone's doing out on circuit. One of the Red Bulls, that's Fake Knutson, who's just coming across the line. Now, he's on the medium compound tyres, unlike everybody else. So Fake Knutson just getting a grip of the circuit, and he goes 15th, which, considering, is not a bad lap time at all. The medium compound tyre, the yellow tyre walls you can see there on Fake Knutson's car, they're about a second slower around this circuit compared to the red soft wall tyres that typically you'd use at qualifying. So if you were to take a second off, Fake Knutson would be just about inside the top 10. So more time to come from the Red Bull at the moment. You've got one of the other Red Bulls, T-Money, in the top 10. He is quite literally in 10th position. Looks like everybody else is just swinging their way back towards the pit lane. Nobody on a push lap apart from Cable Monkey, who's coming around the final corner. This will be his lap. He's got no ERS left, so he's going to lose a little bit of time down this main straight, but he's up to 8th on a 23.2. So see how he gets on with a bit more ERS, energy recovery system power. That's the power that the drivers get from the battery. See if he can use that on another lap later on, but that's still quite a competitive effort. Ubisoft Toy TA, though, is the man on pole position. He got pole position last week in Australia in the first race of the evening. For those that are new to Gavra, it's a 35% race for race 1 that the drivers have to get used to, and then a 25% race in the second race of the evening here in Lobby 2. That'll be down to the drivers to get used to that. J-Dog is on his outlap. He got his first pole position last week at Australia, finished second in the end. He was surprised to be there, but showing good form. He's one of currently only 2 drivers in the 21s. Everybody else's 22s or slower. Championship leader Anzar yet to set a lap. I think he might have invalidated his time from before. Just following though at the moment. T-Money in the Red Bull. Looks like he's on a lap. He's pushing quite hard, so we'll follow him as he goes around the left-hander at turn 10. Completely flat up through this left-hander. No problems at all. He's going to break the second time being there. He's half a second up on this lap. Really committed through those two right-handers. Has to back out of it. He tried to go flat at turn 13 and 14, but didn't quite work out. This is a tidy end to the lap so far. He's just got one more corner to go at turn 16. Whoa, he downshifted. And that just kicked the back end of the car out. He's still committed to the lap though, so let's see if he does set a lap time. He does go a little bit quicker, 4/10 quicker than he had originally done. Now, if I look backwards, and hopefully Gav will pick this up on the director, J-Dog is on a lap. He's going into turn 1, 4th gear right-hander. He uses all the road, and he's invalidated his lap time immediately. So we can't ride on board the J-Dog. He'll have to recover some battery again, try again for another lap. So Harran Ali in 6th place, down towards turn 1, a long right-hander. Got to be careful with the power application. He's done nice there. Again, 4th gear for this left-hander. Can't use too much curb, which Harran didn't. Completely flat at turn 3 on the approach to the double right-handed apexes of 4 and 5. Spot your braking point, use a little bit of curb on the inside, which Harran does. 5th gear all the way through, and nice and flat there. He's a 10th and a half up as he goes around turn number 6. And he's done well, nice and committed on the throttle after the corner. Another long sweeping right-hander at turn 7. And then this quite difficult corner, 8 and 9. Gets it lined quite nicely done. And then sets himself up well for turn 10. And again, using all of the road in the Mercedes so far. His second sector time is going to come up on the top right corner. He's still a 10th and a bit up. So this is an improvement. Nice and committed around the double right-hander. Downshifting. Really committed through turn 14. Wonderful to see. Again, making real good use, Harran Ali, of just downshifting in the gears, not using too much brake. He's got one final corner to navigate at the turn 16. He's done well there. Now, will he make any improvements on this lap? He's coming towards the flag now, and he does a 121.9, but still half a second away from our pole sitter currently, USD Toy TA. That is a very competitive lap time. Very good from the Haas driver, but can his, well, I would say one of his championship rivals, the championship leader Anzar, go near that? Anzar was very quick last week when he took both of those victories at Australia. He didn't surprisingly get pole position despite winning both races. Can he break that duck this evening? Everyone else just out on circuit at the moment, getting themselves up to speed, but Anzar will be the driver to watch. He's approaching the final corner now as the steps is up in 4th place as well. So Anzar is gunning it out of the final corner, completely flat towards turn 1. And he goes on to his flying lap. His teammate just behind him, Kobe P, in 5th place, also going on to a qualifying lap. Anzar looks really committed through these opening couple of corners. And USD Toy TA goes even faster, a 121.2. The Italian is flying at the moment. Can Anzar do anything with this? He's done a 26.6 in the first sector. That is a very competitive lap time. Around the right hand, he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. That is Sick Boy, who's on a lap as well. Whoa, Anzar trying to get on the power a little bit early, but the car wasn't really complying. 53.7, he's going quickly again. This could be a special lap from the Alfa Romeo. We'll wait to see. He's got a couple more corners to go, just 2 more with this left-hander. Yellow flags everywhere. Car's trying to just get out of the way. And he's going to get a nice tow from the McLaren in front of him as he rounds this final corner at turn 16. All of the battery deployed. What's this lap time going to be from Anzar? It's a 21.5. Puts him on the front row, but that is some speed that USC Toy TA has shown. And Kobe P goes up there as well into third place. And the two Alfa Romeo drivers will be very happy with that. And the steps now moves himself into third position. That's a good effort from the McLaren driver. He got a podium last week, did the steps. He was even leading briefly in Tier 1 last week. Was steps. So he's found some form so far in the early part of the season. No doubt we'll be speaking to him later in the interviews area. Now J-Dog, pole sitter last week, can he make any improvement? We're following Milo Bello out on circuit. He's in 14th place. He's a 10th and a bit down at the moment, 2 tenths down practically. Around the left-hander. He's very committed, but it looks like all of his deployment's going to be used. Looks like this track is very energy recovery system heavy around here. The deployment gets used entirely. And there you go, the little deploy used banner comes up on my screen that I could see. And Milo Bello doesn't improve on that lap. So he's going to have to try and find a little bit more time if he can. Kobe P coming back to the pits. A lot of drivers coming back to the pits. That's Cable Monkey up to 4th. So a couple more drivers in the 21s now. That is a very good effort from him. He's running off a mobile hotspot, is Cable Monkey, this evening. So we hope he doesn't have any issues with his connection. But we'll keep an eye on that as we go through. Sick Boy just out at the moment. Team Money is one of the drivers who's going to be setting a lap time. He's just gone onto one now with less than 4 minutes remaining. In Sector 1 is the Red Bull. Team Money new to this league. Didn't score any points last week, but he's right on the cusp of them at the moment in terms of qualifying in the top 10. And the steps has left, so hopefully we can get him back in. I'll try and invite him shortly. In fact, I'll try and do that now whilst we're going along. But in fact, for some reason, unfortunately, I cannot. So you can see Gavra's doing that for you on the screen. I'm watching Team Money, though, coming through Sector 2. And he is improving. It's only marginal, but if he carries on with that rate of progression, he will overtake his teammate, who has just emerged from the pit lane. Oh, and Team Money just invalidates his lap time, so that's unfortunate. That's his qualifying session over. Mikey and Tutty Boy. Tutty Boy improving in the first sector. He's 6 tenths up. Mikey not improving at the moment. In fact, I think he's invalidated his lap time, so Mikey will need to find some more time. Those two, Tutty Boy and Mikey, the only two drivers in the 24s at the moment. But this is one of those circuits that it takes a bit of time for confidence to develop and knowing your way around here as well. And you can tell that the drivers in the 21s have done a lot of reconnaissance laps, a lot of practice to get themselves up to speed with how this circuit flows. Tutty Boy going a second quicker almost as he swings around the turn 13 and 14. A little bit of a lift through 14. Nice and committed at the left-hander. It's brilliant to watch these cars around Qatar, I have to say. It is a committed circuit. Might not promote much overtaking, to be honest with you, but qualifying laps certainly are committed. But Tutty Boy will come to the line, and he is 12th. He splits the Red Bulls on a 123.2. So, a couple of minutes to go. Drivers just getting themselves ready for their efforts. And we're riding with the Williams at the moment. of Mikey, who is on a lap. And he's 1.2 up, so this is much better from Mikey. This is looking like a better lap so far. Got to keep it between the lines. That is certainly going to catch drivers out this evening. He's got no deployment left, unfortunately. That's going to really cost him on this approach to the final corner. Steps is out of the session again. Mikey was 1.2 up, but I feel he's going to lose a lot of that advantage coming down this main straight. What's the lap time for the Williams? 23.4, gets himself off the bottom and right with his teammate Spannel for 14th position. But we're now going to be watching the fight for the pole position shootout now. On Italy Toy TA has caught the back of Spannel 57, but Spannel is on a lap, so he's not exactly blocking him. And I think Italy Toy's qualifying session is over, sadly for him. So it comes down to whether Antzar can make an improvement. The Steps is there in third place. It's a good effort. Can he make the improvement that is needed to get him that first pole position of the season? Just watching as he comes around turn 16 for the final time in qualifying. DRS wide open, all of his deployment, his battery's been used up. This is looking like a good effort. Antzar, it is, but he's just missed out by 0.03 of a second. He can't quite improve. Harren Ali going up to 4th place. That's a great late effort from the Mercedes. Cable Monkey, the last driver, well, I was going to say the last driver to set a lap time, but he is done. His qualifying is over. And Mikey has already seen a checkered flag in terms of a lap time, and he's slowed right down. So it is Italy Toy TA who gets pole position. His second of the season. And I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that. And with the advantage being so small, though, he will be aware of how quick Antzar's race pace can be. But that will come up shortly. We're only a few moments away from that. The drivers will need to take a little bit of time to get themselves prepared, ready. We do have a sort of grace period between qualifying and the race that the drivers have to get the cars set up and in the right window. Mikey just cruising towards the line. That's his quali over, and everybody is back. And the Steps has rejoined, which is good news. And I'll run you through the qualifying order then for the Qatar Grand Prix here at Losail International Circuit. It's Italy Toy TA, the Italian, on pole position once again. Antzar right behind him in second place. The Steps in third, with Harren Ali joining them on the second row of the grid. Cable Monkey is fifth, with Kobe P, a best of the season so far, in sixth place. J-Dog and JMB Surreal are on row number 4, with FRV Ricky and Spannel rounding out the top 10. Fake Nutson and Sick Boy are 11th and 12th, with Tutty Boy and Team Money in 13th and 14th, with Mikey and Milo Bello 15th and 16th. The whole grid separated by 2.6 seconds. I've got to say, there is a bit of a gap between 9th and 10th. Ricky, the last driver, within a second, and then Spannel 1.5 back. This could be a race of two halves this evening for the points. Now, with Qatar being the type of circuit it is, there's a lot of runoff, a lot of areas for the drivers to sort of get away with any spins, any accidents. Less likely to have a safety car around this circuit than we did in Melbourne at Australia last week. So the drivers will be able to factor that in. And it'll be important at the start that they don't get any damage in any mess that could happen in the opening couple of corners. A couple of drivers are worried about that. So there may be just a couple of moments maybe in the mid-pack where the drivers will be a little bit sensitive on the brakes, don't want to get caught out. But the drivers are all aware that they've got to race maturely, they've got to be clean, no nonsense from Tier 2. They were on the best behaviour tonight. And if you're watching this live on Twitch at the moment, do put a comment in who you believe will be in the podium for this race. This 35% race strategy will play a factor. But here we go then at Qatar. It's the Haas on the right hand side of the Alfa Romeo on the left who will make the best start. And the race is live from Doha. Looks like a relatively even start between the front two. Coming towards turn one, Ansar's under a little bit of pressure from the steps, and he's going to try and go around the outside, but there's not enough room there. Kobe P's made a mistake. He's lost the back end. He's on the inside. No one's hit him, fortunately, but it is Utility Toy who leads the way. Ansar's second is a yellow flag. Kobe P spun it off the curb, unfortunately. So it's Harren Ali in fourth place, J-Dog fifth, J&B Surreal in sixth place, Ricky, Knutson, Spannel in the top 10, and Cable Monkey is there in 10th position. Both Williams making some improvements. That's Team Money running wide near the back of the grid. But at the moment, oh, that's Ansar running a little bit wide out of turn number 10. But fortunately for him, he'll have the inside. I say turn 10, turn 6, I should say. He'll have the inside for turn 7, and he fends off the McLaren for now. But Italy will be very happy with this start. There's a lot of split strategy going on between the drivers, of an eclectic mix of soft and medium tyres. That is Milo Bello and Team Money round in Sector 2. Unfortunate for them, I don't know if there's any damage. Can't see on their cars, but Ansar under pressure already. Ansar running the medium tyres of the steps, wants to get on with this. He wants to get past that Alfa Romeo. And Milo Bello in the gravel trap. He's not stuck actually, he can get out of there. Steps closing that gap. Of course, the drag reduction system not available yet for the drivers to use. Oh, a little bit of contact between second and third. The Steps just running into the back of the Alfa. Certainly accidental, but that's the difference at the early stage of this race. Harren Ali right there as well, but that's the difference between the tyres in these opening laps. The Steps has got those soft tyres fired up and working, but it's so difficult for them to get past the drivers around them in this middle part of the circuit. It's going to require a bit of creativity. Utility Toy TA is already out of the DRS range. He's 1.1 clear of the driver behind him, which is Ansar. There's the top 5 are running quite close together. J-Dog right there as well. It's Ricky in 6th position. J&B Surreal is just on the back of that train, so maybe a little bit of gap between 2nd to 7th. Very close together, and then Fake Knutson is 2nd outside of DRS range from the cars ahead of him, so maybe that's the turning point for the split of this race. 2 drivers in the pits. They've already had to change front wings. Team Money and Milo Bello, they're on the hard tyres now for the rest of this race, and Mikey up to 10th. Cable Monkey made a mistake and dropped out of the top 10. So both Williams cars in the top 10 spots. As USA Toy sets another fastest lap, the Steps closing that gap towards turn 1, but he can't quite make it through. That was Sick Boy alongside Mikey for a moment, but he's fending well. Mikey, he's in the top 10. Just got to try and keep improving. The Steps is on the inside of Ansar, coming towards turn 4. That's important. He runs the Alfa Romeo outright, out wide, and Steps moves into 2nd place. Now he's got to get on with this. Oh, that's one of the cars. I think that's Mikey facing the wrong way. Sick Boy facing the wrong way. Those two have had contact out on circuit, unfortunately. But as I was saying back at the front, the Steps has to get on with this. Oh, Ansar getting it all wrong at turn 10. Went way too deep for the corner, and that might just give the McLaren the break he needs. Harren Ali looks very competitive early doors as Team Money picks up a time penalty. But Harren Ali is right with the Alfa Romeo, and the Ansar doesn't need to lose another space. That's the last thing he needs. Steps needs to try and pull away now if he can, but Ansar runs wide out the final corner. I don't think Harren Ali is close enough to attempt the move, and that's Cable Monkey. The penalties are now starting to come thick and fast. But that Mercedes looks very hooked up at the moment. Ricky in 5th place. Oh, Ricky having a big wiggle out of the first corner. But the front fight for the podium is raging hard at the moment. can see for the drivers how difficult it is to try and make an overtake here. Harinali making a little mistake there on the exit of the hairpin. Ricky's now in front of the J&B Surreal and J-Dog party. I think J-Dog was running in 6th or 5th, I believe he's been overtaken. This is a good run from J&B Surreal though, good to see him in the top 6. Clearly gelling with the car and the circuit at the moment. And he's within DRS range of the Haas that's directly in front of him that you can see on screen. And you got a little bit further back, you got Fake Knutson and Spannel together. The sick boy now becomes another driver victim of the time penalty. So DRS activated once again. Antzar just isn't close enough to the steps, and the problem for the steps is that he just can't seem to pull away from the Finnish driver. Number 52. That's Spannel making a move on Fake Knutson for 8th place, so that's good progress for him. And J-Dog has a time penalty now. Oh, Antzar looking like he's got a little bit more confidence again. USC Toy TA is 2.5 seconds to the good at the moment. But maybe the steps has gone into defense mode. Just seems he can't pull away from this championship leader at the moment. Harinali's also hanging on to the back of them. It's a couple of effectively free car fights around the circuit. Because Ricky is heading another train with J&B Surreal, who looks like he's got a lot of speed in that AlphaTauri at the moment. We'll go round for another lap 5. Oh, Harinali's picked up a time penalty now as well. Now, is Antzar going to be close enough this time round? Harinali looks very quick, looks very close, but he can't make use of the DRS because the car in front has it. Another driver picks up DRS. Here goes Antzar then to the outside. That should be straightforward for the Alfa Romeo, and it is. He goes past the steps as if he wasn't there, and J&B Surreal does the same thing to Ricky. He moves into 5th position. So 2 overtakes at turn 1 on this lap. But look at the Alpine of J-Dog trying to make a move for 6th position. He's not quite there. We're following Antzar at the moment, who looks as if he's found some performance now from those medium tyres. Maybe the softs aren't as strong or as long lasting as we thought they would be. He's going to have to work hard as the steps to stay within a second of our championship leader at the moment. In fact, he's almost gapped a second to the steps, so this is really good progress at the moment. To be fair, give credit to the steps. He is hanging on to the back of the Alfa Romeo, so he will get DRS. He just doesn't want to pick up a time penalty whilst Harinali behind him has one. Harinali just stuck in that position where he can't do much thanks to the car in front having DRS, which Steps does have. That is a driver in the pits. That is Fake Knutson. So he's getting rid of those soft tyres. He doesn't want them anymore. He's had enough of them. No overtakes going down the main straight. Fake Knutson goes for the hard compound tyre. Interesting strategy. But he decides he wants to do something a little bit different. Tutty Boy in the pits as well from 13th place on the mediums. So that'll bring Mikey up a couple of spots. But he will also need to pit following on from his incident earlier. Riding on board with the Mercedes of Harinali there. See how close he gets to the back of the McLaren. He's within a couple of attempts, but he just can't make the impact he would want to have. I was saying just then, the soft might be struggling, but USC Toy is certainly not struggling at all. He is dialed in with that car, working together so proficiently. But he is pushing, he's pushing very hard. I can see that from the wheel movements on his car. Now Ansar's going to be under threat here because Steps is again right with him. Within a couple of tenths. But Ansar just seems to get a better traction out of the final corner. J-Dog and Cable Monkey in the pits. Let's see if the Steps can be close enough for a move into turn one. He's got to look to the outside. Isn't close enough and he can't get the switch back. Oh, he nearly might have had a moment to do so. But Ansar was wise to it. Right under the rear diffuser of that car in front. Ansar having to defend into turn four. Oh, is the door open for the McLaren? Not quite. He did try. He is pushing that Alfa Romeo all around the circuit. Whilst we were watching, well, you guys were watching FRV Ricky and JMB Surreal fighting hard as well. But everybody who has pitted so far have gone for the hard compound tyres. As Harinelli picks up another time penalty. That's really going to cost him in this fight for a podium. And maybe to the cars behind as well. And don't forget, Harinelli also on the medium tyres. And at the Steps and the USC Toy TA, they're going on the soft tyres. They will have to pit for the slower tyre later on. We might see some more speed from Ansar and Harinelli towards the end of this race. You see all the wheel movements that we're getting from JMB Surreal. That's Harinelli into the pits. But JMB Surreal looking to get past Ricky once again. Oh, and Harinelli's got another time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. JMB Surreal closing this gap down to the Haas car. He's going to go to the inside. He should be able to brake a little bit later. And he does. And he keeps it nice and tight so that Ricky can't get through. But having said that, he is trying. But the AlphaTauri holds position and he's up to fourth. Steps has a time penalty. So now we wait to see how everybody else gets on. Fake nuts and blasting up to 10th place past Mikey. Mikey not in that fight. He's on a different strategy to everybody else. Cable Monkey should be going through for 11th place, and Mikey, sure enough, Mikey picks up a time penalty. He was just trying to avoid the cars around him. That's a shame. So up at the front, look at the penalties. I did say before, whilst qualifying was going on, that the track limits will come into play around here at Qatar. We're on lap 9. We're not actually at the halfway mark of the race, and only 5 drivers of the 16 on circuit haven't got a time penalty. Into the pits though comes our race leader. USC Toy TA is in the pits, as is everybody else behind him. So Ansar, the Steps come in as well. JMB Surreal carries on, and ladies and gentlemen, JMB Surreal will lead a lap here at Qatar. That's a great boost of morale for him. Good to see him back at the sharp end. Ricky is in second. USC Toy TA has got out in front of Ansar. Naturally, the Steps right behind the Alfa Romeo, who will now have those soft tyres on. Now, where is Harinelli? He's on the hard compound. He's coming down the main straight now. And he's going to rejoin behind the Steps and Ansar, so it hasn't worked out for the Mercedes. He's pushing, but he just isn't close enough. And sadly for Harinelli, that gamble hasn't paid off. Pitting early and going to the hard tyres just hasn't worked. It's going to be difficult for him to use the hard tyres to get past the medium shod McLaren, unfortunately for him. So what that means is that USC Toy TA leads the way. He's got 2.7 seconds to Ansar in the Alfa Romeo. The top 3 of JMB Surreal, Ricky, as USC Toy picks up a penalty, and that might just swing the race back in Ansar's favour. If Ansar doesn't pick up a time penalty and stays within 3 seconds, you could see them all pinging on race control. They're having a lot of work to do in the stewards. But if Ansar doesn't pick up a time penalty, he will win the race, providing he finishes within 3 seconds of USC Toy TA. He's currently 2.5 seconds behind the Haas at the moment. Ricky in the pits now, so JMB Surreal leads another lap. As Ricky goes on to put a new set of tyres on. It looks like he's put the hard tyres on, which is an intriguing choice. but that's the compound he's on at the moment. So many drivers have time penalties. Harran Ali has overtaken the steps whilst we were watching. Harran Ali into 5th position. He's been trying to get that move done, but the steps is not giving up. He's on the inside at turn 4. It's an unconventional overtaking spot, but he's found a way past. And Harran Ali must be thinking, what more do I have to do to get past this McLaren? Good racing between these two. But the thing with the penalties is that Harran Ali has 11 seconds worth of penalties, so that's really going to impact him for the rest of the race. J-Dog has also closed the gap in the meantime. He's only a second and a half behind these two. In what is the fight, the virtual fight for 3rd place, is JMB Surreal pits from the lead. And Spannel carries on, so Spannel will lead the next lap. I'll tell you something though, Ansar is not making the gains I thought he would have done. I thought he would have got right up to the back of Uitaly Toyota already, but Uitaly is showing so much speed around here. JMB onto the soft tyres. Tutty Boy now joins the rest of the field with a time penalty. The steps, though, having to defend from the Mercedes of Harran Ali, who's going to the outside line. They give each other a little bit of room. Harran Ali will be on the inside for turn 2, and he overtakes the McLaren. But look at the speed that the steps has. He's right there, under the Ineos rear wing of the Mercedes. To the outside, he can't quite make a move there. And I suspect these two will be fighting for quite a lot of the race, maybe even for the rest of it. They are very closely matched. This is great racing between these two. And Uitaly Toy has overtaken Spannel for the race lead, so even before Spannel's pitted, he gets himself into the lead of the race. But we're still watching the McLaren and Mercedes fight for... Oh, Harran Ali, big wobble, through goes steps. He had to use all of the road and he gets past. Now, will Harran Ali have DRS? He will, despite all of that. So the steps went through. Harran Ali will just re-overtake the McLaren, although having said that, it's gradual now. He goes past. That kind of worked out for Harran Ali. I'm sure he didn't mean to do it like that. That is T-Money off the road in Sector 2. But the Mercedes is back through. Great car control from Harran Ali to hold on to that. But all of this is just, this battle is just, you can see the Alpine in the background. J-Dog is right there with them at the moment. Any more fighting between these two and it'll bring him into DRS. Well, this has been really good racing between the two, different offset of tyres. Lots of little fights around the circuit as well. Ricky within a second of JMB Surreal, but JMB's just pitted for those soft tyres. I imagine he'll be one to watch whether he set any fastest laps on the way towards the end of this race. 6 seconds behind the fight for the podium, though, admittedly, so he probably won't catch them at this current rate of pace. But Harran Ali onto the main straight, the steps right behind him with DRS and J-Dog. Harran Ali goes to the inside line. He's coming across a little bit further over, but the steps is on the outside. He's going to try and hang it all the way around the outside. That is a great move. Can he seal it through turn 2? He can, and up to 3rd place. Once again goes the steps. This is really good racing between these two. It's been great to watch. Harran Ali, admittedly, he's going to fall away once the penalties get applied, but he is not giving up. He's showing how much of a racer he is. J-Dog just trying to hang on. He did have DRS. He's fallen out of it again. JMB Surreal slowly but surely making that. In fact, he has closed quite a bit on the last. He took 8/10 out of J-Dog, so JMB Surreal quietly and assuredly, as he always does in this league, just pulling himself back into the fight. Whether his soft tyres will last at the end is another matter, but this has been a really positive performance from AlphaTauri, and I'm sure Franz Tost will be happy with drivers. I've got to say, Ricky staying with him in the Haas behind, despite having hard tyres on. This is good display of speed from Ricky. Everyone else all fighting in their own little battles now. In fact, the only position that's really sort of undecided in the top 10, the lower reaches of the top 10, is Spannel and Kobe P. Harinali, though, didn't quite get close enough to the McLaren in front this time around. J-Dog has fallen away from this fight. And he's only 4 seconds clear of JMB, so he'll have to keep his pace up. Doesn't want to lose another spot thanks to his time penalty. She's got 3 seconds. If JMB gets within 3 seconds, he'll take that spot off him. JMB Surreal could be on for 4th place here if he carries on. Now the gap at the front, whilst we've been watching everyone else around, we're currently following Spannel at the moment. He's got a good exit out of turn number 6, but he's just not quite close enough, and that's J-Dog picking up a penalty, and Yuichi Toy, I was just about to cut to him. He's got another 3 seconds. Oh, look at this for a move on the inside of turn 10. Spannel not quite close enough. Kobe P following him as well. Spannel looking very quick on those soft tyres. He wants to get past Fake Knutson as soon as possible. He just can't find a way through these right-handers. To the outside at turn 15, surely not. No, he can't quite go through there. Oh, that was quite clever tactics from Fake Knutson, braking before the DRS line. But he doesn't quite get the line right. And Spannel might just be far enough ahead, although I haven't said that. Here comes the drag reduction system into effect now. Spannel not defending the inside line. Spannel trying to hold the outside line, and he's through. So Spannel up to 9th place. That little bit of racecraft from Fake Knutson didn't work out. My earlier point though, Yuichi Toy now has 6 seconds worth of penalties, and Ansar only needs to sit behind the Italian to take another race win this season. Tutty Boy in the pits once again. Not really gone well for the Alpine so far this evening, but he'll have another race in a minute. JMB Surreal really closing that gap down. He's now 2.7 behind. There's a yellow flag. Yuichi Toy's round. He's lost it on the penultimate corner. He's gone over the curbs. And that is not just the race win lost. He might be under threat for a podium now. The steps will have DRS. It's wide open, but he won't be. I don't know if is he going to be close enough to make a move into turn 1. He's going to have a look at it. Italy goes defensive. Around the outside goes the McLaren. Side by side through turn 1. He's going to be on the better line, I think, through turn 1. And the steps is still there. They give each other racing room through turn 2. Turn 3, Italy's. Oh, he's got another time penalty. And the steps is up to 2nd. Well, well, well. The McLaren up to 2nd place. Harinali in 4th. He's a little bit further away. I have to say, now, this is where things get interesting. The steps is on for 2nd place. JMB Surreal could take 3rd place here with the penalties to the cars around him. Yuichi Toy has 9 seconds. Harinali has 14. J-Dog has 6. JMB Surreal is only 6 seconds behind Yuichi Toy TA. That could be a podium for the AlphaTauri, and what a result that would be for him. But we have still got 4 laps to go of this race. There is still plenty that can happen around this Qatar circuit. We shall wait and see. This is a great race, really lots of intrigue. USD Toitier blasts past the McLaren. Back into second place, but that is only where he is on circuit. The virtual placing he'll be at the moment is somewhere around 4th or 5th place. Ansar, though, looking like a man in another planet at the moment. He is on course for 3 victories in a row. And who could beat him at this moment in time? He's looking imperious. Uisli Toy in second place. He's got a second out to the steps, so Uisli now starting to bring his performance again. Don't forget, he does have 9 seconds worth of penalties, and he's only 6 seconds clear of JMB Surreal, so this could all change on the final lap. 3 laps to go. He needs to find a second a lap on the AlphaTauri, who has now joined. Oh, as Harun Ali picks up another time penalty. Harun Ali in 4th place has just lost a load of speed. He's going to get overtaken by J-Dog for 4th, which he does do. And Harun Ali's in the pits. So he's had enough. So, Harun Ali deciding he's had enough of those hard tyres. He's just going to go for fastest lap, but he might fall out of the points here, depending on where he is coming out of the pit. We'll see shortly. JMB Surreal right behind J-Dog now in the fight for what is currently 4th on circuit. He's still 6 seconds behind Uisli Toitier, so he could be on for this 3rd place. Harun Ali rejoins in 10th position, so he's got a point at the moment. Everyone else outside the top 10 just running their own pace at the moment. It's a testing ground really for race 2 for them. But we are on the penultimate lap. And J-Dog under pressure from the AlphaTauri behind as we break for turn 10. Ooh, JMB Surreal picking up a little bit of a track limits warning, I think that would be. I'm going to consult the race director on that one just to see. In fact, there are so many incidents on the race director, it won't load for me. A sick boy does pick up another one there. He won't want to waste too much time stuck behind J-Dog, will JMB. He'll want to get past that Alpine, but he doesn't look like he's close enough at the moment. DRS, that rear wing wide open. We're on the final lap now. Ansar on his way to another race victory. JMB's going to go for it. It's a late lunge up the inside. And he goes through. J-Dog just couldn't get to the inside line quick enough. And I'm surprised, really. I wasn't expecting JMB Surreal to go through, but he has. Now, this is the other thing. This is something else to factor in. The steps is 3 seconds clear. He's got 3 second time penalties. JMB could get second if he's got enough tyres left. He's got enough grip. Wow. This can all change. This is brilliant from the drivers out on circuit. We are on the final lap. But I'm watching Ansar swing through turns 13. Now through 14, he's got the left-hand look. He's already celebrating. He knows. It doesn't matter how slow he goes. He's got the race win. And then Ricky's got past for 5th position on this final lap. Round the final corner comes Ansar. It's almost too easy for him. He is going to win here in Qatar. It's 3 in a row for the Alfa Romeo driver. USD Toy will cross the line in second. Will he hold on though? The steps moves up to second. It is JMB Surreal for 3rd. He gets the podium. So close to second in the end, but he'll be happy with that. USD Toy ends up 4th. Ricky is 5th. Then it's everybody else. Loads of track limit penalties, so Spanner will take 6th place. Then it's Cable Monkey. No, it's Kobe P for 7th. Then it's Cable Monkey. Then it's J-Dog, who just seemed to collapse on the last lap. Not sure what happened. Harun Ali, very slow towards the line. He will be 10th in the end across the line. He's got a lot of penalties he's got to deal with. Sick Boy going very slowly across the line, so he's going to lose 11th to Mikey. There goes Sick Boy across the line. Mikey, where will he finish? He ends up 11th in the end, just outside the points. Fake Knutson swinging the car from left to right, almost losing it as he crosses the line. Oh dear. There we go. Now he loses it as he goes across the line, and Tutty Boy cruising to the checkered flag. Oh, we'll just read next. I'm just reading from. I said that J-Dog collapsed. J-Dog ran out of fuel at the final lap. That's why he was cruising so slowly. JMB surreal driver of the day, rightfully so. As the drivers get onto the podium to celebrate. No champagne, of course, in Qatar because it's, you know, in terms of alcohol and it's frowned upon, of course, drinking in public. So it'll be rose water that the drivers will be spraying on the podium. But that is 3 wins out of 3. And who can beat Ansar at this point? He certainly should be in Tier 1, but he's unavailable. And I don't blame him for racing in Tier 2. He's got a chance to flex his muscles a little bit. And that is a race win for Ansar. Steps is second, third for JMB Surreal. What a drive from him. Utility Toy TA and Ricky, 4th and 5th place for those two. Spannel up to 6th from 10th on the grid, so more points for Williams. Kobe P, 7th of Cave Monkey in 8th place. J-Dog 9th. Haran Ali getting the last point in 10th position. Mikey finishes 11th, unlucky not to get a point in the end after his earlier incident with Sick Boy, who finished 12th. Fake Knutson and Tutty Boy 13th and 14th, with T-Money and Milo Bello being lapped 15th and 16th. No retirements from this race, which is good to see. But as I mentioned earlier, contact will really ruin your race around here. And if you have to pit for a front wing like those two did in 15th and 16th, T-Money and Milo Bello, that ruins the whole race. But the drivers will give themselves a moment just for a quick breather. We'll be back shortly for another race. A 25% race here at Qatar. And for those that are new to Gavra, if you're unaware, the qualifying session is a one-shot qualifying here for race 2. Step saying he had a game glitch and didn't show him any warnings about the pit limiter speed, unfortunately, which is a shame for the Steps. Have a look and see what the drivers are saying in the post-race chat. Team Money apologising in terms of the contact between himself and Milo Bello. Second time in a row now for those two. They have made contact. Haran Ali seems very frustrated at the fact that he didn't get a podium, thanks to the track limits penalties. A lot of happy celebrations for JMB Surreal. Sick Boy saying apologies to Mikey for the contact that those two had earlier in the race. And J-Dog also seems very upset and he didn't get his 4th place. So it might be a little bit of a breather for everyone, and the qualifying is about to start. So a quick turnaround for the event. And the drivers will get prepared and ready once again. As we go into the one-shot qualifying session. And the timer there just ticking down. We are about to go live for qualifying. I do hope Gav and in the race director's box can get his championship lineup out of the way so we can see the track. There we go. He must have heard me loud and clear then. Apologise for any background noise if you can hear anything. But under the floodlights here at Qatar, one of only 4 night races on the 24 round calendar, only 23 this season because of Imola's cancellation. But Qatar joining the 3 other circuits that are run overnight. The 3 other circuits have run overnight, I should say. But drivers just make some last minute preparations for this second qualifying session. One shot, of course, as I said earlier. It's important for the drivers. Track limits have been so important around here that, you know, do expect a couple of drivers maybe to be in the top 6 or 7 because of track limit warnings for everybody else. But here we go. Who will be the best of the qualifiers? As we go around the first couple of corners. Looks like Harren Ali. He's the fastest man in the first sector, but USA Toy TA has just moved himself into the top spots. Everyone's got to be so careful around this circuit. Don't want to be running over track limits, which I think Kobe P did. He was right up there, and yeah, sure enough, he has done. He's invalidated his lap, unfortunately, so the Alfa Romeo will be down the field. They go sweeping through this complex of corners, and then a difficult braking zone for turn 10, which is a hairpin realistically, but it's quite a quick one in these F123 ground effect cars. Second sector beam, and it's still USA Toy TA at the front. The man who was so fast in the first qualifying session. He might be on for another pole position this evening. A couple of more drivers have just invalidated their lap time there. At the penultimate corner, one last corner to go. It looks as if it's going to be USA Toy TA on pole. Just got this one last straight to get across. And he is on pole position. And did you see who was up in second place on the front row with him? If you saw, you were eagle-eyed, you'll know who it is. For those that didn't, it's USA Toy first, but it's JMB Surreal on the front row of the grid. This is a very competitive showing from JMB. This is such a confidence booster for him. Can he get a win? Dare you say it to those that are watching. Can he get a race win? Who knows? Antsar is there in 3rd place. The 2 Mercedes are next up in 4th and 5th. J-Dog rounds out the 3rd row of the field. It's Steps and T-Money 7th and 8th, with the other Red Bull of Fake Nuts in 9th and Spannel rounding out the top 10. Tutty Boy and Sick Boy, the boys together on row 6, with Mikey and Milo Bello setting the last validated lap times. Ricky and Kobe P, both quick drivers at the back of the grid thanks to their track limits warnings disqualifying them from the session. Well, the drivers will have a 25% race to contend with, so a couple of less laps. It was 20 laps earlier. Won't be as many this time around. Nothing to worry about in terms of weather around Qatar typically. Obviously, when the race is held here in the winter months, or when I say the winter months, it is in the UK or in Europe. Qatar in November, December time, usually a lot hotter in terms of the weather, which is why the race is run of an evening to stop those conditions melting the Pirelli dry compound tyres. It does rain in Qatar, surprisingly. For those that are unaware, it does have a lot of seasonal weather. But in November, it's mainly dry. So you've got the AlphaTauri on the left and the Haas on the right-hand side. Who will make the best start? And the race is live from Qatar. Looks like a relatively even start from the front two, but watch Anzar. He's on the soft tyres. He's alongside JMB Surreal into turn one. He's going to make that move, stick a little contact. They survive it. JMB Surreal's going to drop places as a result. He's trying to hang on to the inside. He's got 5th place. That's unfortunate. A little bit of contact between himself and Anzar. There's a yellow flag. That's a Mercedes round. Here comes Team Money. 3 wide towards turn 5. Surely not. Oh, Aaron Ali is right there in the mix of everything as well, but fortunately, JMB Surreal has held on. I thought he was going to drop to 7th in the end there, side by side between Team Money and Aaron Ali, but Team Money goes past. Wow, that was a frenetic start. Oh, contact! Is that Team Money round? It is. Aaron Ali's turned him round. There's contact between the two. He won't be pleased about that. There's a couple of broken front wings out there. More contact, unfortunately, for the drivers, but it's USD Toy TA who has the lead of this race. Ricky has a drive-through penalty. He jumped the start. Unfortunately for him, that's going to ruin his race. And rather annoyingly for me, you can't see this on your screen, but I have got a glitch, so I can't see when people are picking up time penalties, so I'm just going to have to be quite eagle-eyed. But it's USD Toy TA who leads the way, but he's under pressure from Antar, who's on the soft compound tyre. And it's J-Dog in 3rd, Fake Nuts in 4th, JMB Surreal dropped to 5th thanks to that little bit of contact between himself and Antar at the start, but he's got no damage, so he's in 5th. Aaron Ali 6th, Spanel in 7th, up 3 places already. And it's the Steps in 8th and the McLaren. The Steps didn't have the best of, in terms of where he was, in terms of his track position. He has lost a spot, has the Steps, but Kobe P has made up 7 places at the start, so great start for him. Fake Nutson up 4 as well, Fake 5 actually for Fake Nutson, so he's running in 5th place. But the strategy's already different for everyone. Unfortunately for Mikey, a broken front wing. Milo Bello out of this race. So a tough opening lap for the AlphaTauris. Oh, where is USD Toy TA going there? That was all over the place. He's going to pick up a time penalty if he's not careful. Then it's Ansar. These front two already pulling away from J-Dog, who's out of DRS range at the moment. And I think after that frenetic start, looks like JMB Surreal's getting his mojo back. He's getting back into the swing of it. He's a fan favourite, is JMB Surreal. He quietly goes about his business. The Steps very close to the back of Spanel for 7th position. He's on the inside, and Spanel isn't going to fight this one. A smart driver in the Williams. DRS is now enabled, of course. We're on lap 3, and fortunately that visual glitch is gone, so I can see where the rest of the incidents are out on circuit. As T-Money joins the drivers who've got a time penalty already. Now, with the DRS available, the moment for Ansar really is going to be on this lap. He's got to get past USD Toy TA as soon as possible. And I've got to say that UItaly is using a creative choice of track limits around here at the moment. Run wide a few times, he's got away with it. Fake Nutson, though, hanging on to 4th place. He's got the medium tyre shod JMB Surreal behind him as Aaron Ali picks up a time penalty. He's not learned from the last race as the Mercedes driver. It's going to cost him. JMB Surreal just can't hang on at the moment. Although, having said that, he has pulled himself within DRS range. Where is Harran Ali going? What is he doing? That's a dreadful line at the final corner. It's not working. He's got a lot of pace in that Mercedes, but Harran is driving questionably at the moment. Italy Toy did hold on for first place though. And that's important. He's got to try and hold Ansar off for as long as possible, so that he can make use of the soft tyres later on in his stint. He's on the mediums. Although, oh, that's Italy Toy round. The race leader's round. Well, what happened there? Has Ansar run into the back of him? J-Dog is all over the rear wing of the car in front. What happened there? Well, well, well. Italy's got a time penalty. This has blown the race wide open. The front two were pulling away. But now Ansar has a 4/10 gap, and J-Dog will see this as a chance for him to get the lead of this race early on. J&B Surreal goes past Fake Knutson for third. Oh, this could go anyone's way now. J-Dog not close enough to the back of Ansar for the trying to get a move to turn one. That is an Alfa Romeo round. That's Kobe P facing the wrong way on the exit of turn 16. Harran Ali isn't close enough to Fake Knutson for an overtake, but the steps is holding on from USD Toy TA just about for 6th. USD's going to be really frustrated, and that's a safety car. Well, now, is that for damage to Kobe P that has brought out the safety car? He is missing an end plate on the Alfa Romeo. The happiest man in the grid will be T-Money and Mikey RK13. They can get a pit stop and close right up, so it's brought them back into it. Now, what do you do if you're on the medium tyres? Do you decide to play it safe, go on the hard compounds, or do you go to the soft and hope that they will last for the rest of this race? Those who are on the soft tyres, they'll be happy with this. They can get the mediums on and go for it. But we are going around this final corner now. We're following the race leader of Ansar. I say the final corner, the final sector now. Ansar is the race leader. Now, what will he decide to do? I'm sure he's going to pit, and there he is going into the pit lane. Will J&B Surreal go in? He does. So it looks like everyone is just going to into the pits. Although Unity Toy TA, I've got to say, that was very clever. I don't know. I don't think. No, absolutely not. The director has not picked this up. And I wouldn't have expected to. Unity Toy TA has overtaken the steps in the pit lane. And that is not illegal. You can do that. The steps slowed right down. Very clever from the Haas driver. He gets himself into a position that's in front of the McLaren. That's very clever. Everybody comes into the pits though. Safety car just stopped on the exit of turn 3. Everybody getting a new set of tyres on. This will take everyone to the end of the race. So the front two on soft medium tyres. They've just gone from soft to the mediums, but J&B Surreal. Could this be his moment? We'll wait and find out. Don't forget the steps. Unity Toy TA, they're going to be on the soft tyres as well. Still a number of drivers just coming out of the pits. Mikey now gets himself into the pit lane. I'm assuming he didn't want to stop until now, once the safety car picked the rest of the drivers up. So I imagine we will get going again on lap 7, the end of lap 7, which will give us 6 laps till the end of this race. Let's just have a recap of what's happened so far. So Unity Toy TA was battling for the lead with Ansar. Then it looked as if, I think the two of them might have come together at some point. Who was at fault for that? I didn't see. But regardless, Ansar is in the lead. WL2 is down in 7th place with a time penalty as well. It's only 3 seconds, but that could make a big difference at the end of the race. Harren Ali also has a 3-second time penalty, along with T-Money and Cable Monkey, who's got 6 seconds. The only 3 drivers on the soft compound tyres at the moment are the Steps, WL2 TA, and the man in 3rd place, JMB Surreal, who is in prime position to get past the 2 cars in front of him. Now, I'm not 100% certain whether JMB Surreal has ever won a race with Gavra Racing before. He's took podiums, I've seen that, I've commentated on those before. Now, hopefully Gav will be able to put a comment in the box to see whether he has or has not, I should say. T-Money has just overtaken Cable Monkey, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Very peculiar. But Mikey will rejoin the safety car, which is good news for him. But they follow the Aston Martin safety car around the circuit. Ansar leading the way, of course. Ansar still yet to have a pole position this season, despite his speed. JMB Surreal, what is he thinking in his mind? How does he play this? Will he try and aim to get J-Dog straight away, or will he wait a lap or two, get his tyres into the right working window? Who knows? But he'll be thinking about all the possible ways he can get past J-Dog and where he can do it. He's got to make sure he doesn't get caught out at the restart. I've got to say, Fake Knutson doing a great job in 4th place as well. Don't forget, took his first Gavra win in the evaluation race at Monza a couple of weeks ago. What can he do? He's certainly one to factor in for this race. He's driven well so far. So we're yet to see whether this safety car is going to come in. Does the sector timing being there? We've not had a note to say that it's coming. There we go now, as I was saying that. So Ansar becomes the lead car. He has to set a good tone, consistent pace. J-Dog really fired up for this restart. I reckon J-Dog will want to try and get past if he can early on. But whether he'll be able to is another matter. He's coming alongside Ansar, and Ansar really slowing the pack down. And Ansar goes. Ansar guns it on the exit of turn 15. He's caught out the Alpine. That's a good restart. And they go across the line for what will be lap number 8. And Fake Knutson is in the wheel tracks of JMB Surreal. JMB's going to have to go defensive into turn 1. He's on the outside. Is the Red Bull. JMB brakes a little bit later. He's on the curb. He's on the inside, and he just about hangs on to that 3rd place. That was important. Ricky moving past Kobe P for 11th spot, but Kobe not giving it up. And a bit of contact between those two. He lived to see another day. Lots of moving and shaking going on. Harren Ali trying to work his way through. Ansar, though, building a gap to J-Dog already. He's got the speed in that car. He's going for a 4th win in a row. At this, he could be taking the overall Tier 2 wins record, but we're not there yet. Still a long way to go in this season. But Harren Ali is doing what he can to get onto the back of that Red Bull. WL2, what's happened to the steps? I think he's lost it by himself, to be honest. And he drops down the field. That isn't ideal for the McLaren. He had a really good race 1, but not 2, sadly, for him. The front 3 are already gapping everybody else. Harren Ali wants to get on with this. He wants to get past the Red Bull in front of him, but he's just having difficulty getting close enough to the back of the Red Bull. Now he's on the main straight. Fake Knutson swings left, swings right. He can't do that. He can't be weaving like that. I know he's a little bit margin in terms. I know he's got a little bit of a margin to the Mercedes, but you cannot swing left and right like that. That'll be a reprimand in the stewards, no doubt. Gives the toy up to 6th place, but he's not close enough. I thought he'd be closer than that. Spannel in 7th place, on for more points in that Williams. The two boys together, and then Ricky in 10th place, just about in the points currently. But JMB Surreal is within half a second of the Alpine. Fake Knutson still just holding off the Mercedes, but USC Toy TA is now using those soft tyres to close that gap to the two cars in front of him. And boy, oh boy, will USC Toy want to get onto the podium. But look at this. Look how close JMB Surreal is to the back of J-Dog. He feels, no doubt, he's quicker than this Alpine. And J-Dog 2 seconds behind Antzar. Now, will JMB Surreal decide to try and go for it on the exit of turn 16, get a run down towards turn 1? Look at the grip he's got. Harran Ali right behind. Harran Ali's had a great exit out of the final corner. Cable Monkey's left the session. DRS now activated. JMB Surreal is closing the gap. He's going to look to the inside line for 2nd place. He dives up the inside, and that is a clean move. He gets the position. Fake Knutson is hanging on to 4th, but Harran Ali will have the inside line. Uisley's trying to follow him through. No contact between the two, and fortunately, Fake Knutson holds the back of the car. There's a yellow flag out on circuit. That's Ricky who's gone round. Nightmare for him. Sick boy picks up a time penalty. They're starting to come now. Can J-Dog hold on to the back of that Alpha Tauri? He's going to try and have to, because Harran Ali picks up another time penalty. There's all sorts of carnage going on all over the circuit. Milo Bello is out of the session. Of course, he retired earlier on. But Fake Knutson just holding off USC Toy, but how long can he do that for? It's going to be difficult for him. It's up. Oh, he runs into the back of Fake Knutson, does the Haas driver. Not what he wants to do. But that's just showing you how much speed he has got on those softer compound tyres. Team Money now joins the list of cars who've got another time penalty. Now DRS open for USC Toy. Fake Knutson also has DRS as well, and he can't quite close the gap. He's not closer than they thought. Fake Knutson looking for a move for turn 1 for 4th place, but he's not got the momentum on the exit. And J-Dog's past JMB Surreal, so J-Dog showing that he can keep with the Alpha Tauri. Whilst we were watching that fight for 4th, J-Dog back into 2nd place. Oh, up the inside. That's a good move from you, Italy. That's a really good move. He's going to be vulnerable on the exit of turns, but he'll have the inside line for 7. And I can't imagine Fake Knutson's going to go around the outside, and sure enough, he doesn't. And Knutson picks up a time penalty for that. Oh, and that's not the right line you want through turn 9 at all. And the Steps is back into the top 10. There's a yellow flag out there. Team Money's gone round. The Steps was briefly passed in 13th place, but he's 11th place, but he's down to that position now. He tried to get past Kobe P, but it didn't quite work out for him. I'll tell you something, J-Dog is doing a really good job. He's pulling away from JMB Surreal. And USC Toy T. Oh, Team Money is out of the session. He's retired. He's not crashed out. He's just retired. He's had enough. USC Toy to the outside of Harran Ali. That's the move you want to do. And he's not quite along the inside. He's going to break a little bit later. They squeeze one another, but Harran Ali hangs on to the position for the time being. How long will this last, though? He's under considerable pressure from JMB. This fight really, really intense at the moment, but you feel that USC Toy is going to get past the Mercedes. And sure enough, there he is, a dive to the inside, the same move he did earlier, but this time at turn 10, Harran Ali's going to be on the outside for turn number 11. And I don't think he's going to be able to go past, no, but usually runs wide, just about hangs on. Now, these two both have 6 seconds worth of penalties. If Fake Knutson can just hold on to the back of them, that'll be 4th place. Even though he's got, well, I say that, but Spaniel doesn't have any penalties, he's within 3 seconds, so who knows? 3 laps to go. Make that the penultimate lap now. JMB Surreal not quite close enough to J-Dog for a move into turn 1. But he is there. Italy Toy TA under pressure. Oh, I thought that was going to go 3 wide. Fake Knutson was thinking about it. He's still thinking about a move to that place, but he just can't work his way through. Italy Toy TA, you feel, might just be able to pull away now with these soft tyres. Well, Harran Ali won't want to give him any form of gap if he can. Spaniel's been overtaken by Tutty Boy, who's having a much better second race this evening. Kobe Pitt, there's a big fight going on for 7th place at the moment. 4-car fight there going on with the steps right on the end of that. But this time around, we're riding with Harran Ali in 5th position, and I think he's going to lose touch with Italy Toy here. It's the fight for 2nd we want to be focusing on, because JMB Surreal has found his mojo again. He's got those soft tyres back in the working window. As Fake Knutson picks up a time penalty. So that's not going to work out for him. Oh, J-Dog runs wide. Hopefully the race director is following. This is it. Look at the straight line speed. And JMB Surreal puts himself into 2nd place on the final lap. J-Dog in 3rd. Then there's 6 seconds times worth of penalties. Look at the fight for 7th. Here comes Spaniel. Flies on through. Kobe P looking to the outside, but he's not quite close enough. The Steps is right in the mix of all of this. Don't forget the Steps doesn't have a time penalty, so he'll be gaining spots. Sick Boy's got quite a few penalties actually for that matter, so he's not going to be gaining anything. And the Steps and Kobe P fighting for 9th place. The Steps on the outside on the exit of turn 6. He's on the inside for 7. Kobe P just hanging it around the outside, and he'll have the momentum and he goes through. But I'm going to cut back to Antar, because he has been absolutely brilliant once again this evening. The Alfa Romeo has 1 corner to navigate, and that's easy enough for him. So 4 wins on the bounce for the Alfa Romeo. It's Antar 97 who wins here at Qatar. It's going to be JMB Surreal in 2nd place. What a performance from him tonight. J-Dog in 3rd. Here come the penalties. So Italy Toy is 4th on the road. Harran Ali is 5th on the road. Fake Knutson is 6th. But then where is everybody else? Spaniel's up to 5th. The Steps is 7th. Tutty Boy is 9th. And Kobe P takes the final point in 10th place. Mikey with, unfortunately, a brace of 11th places this evening. He just misses out on points twice. Sick Boy 12th, Ricky 13th and 14th place in the end. Went the way of Cable Monkey. So we will see what happens. There is Antar celebrating, but Antar has said just in the comments that he feels he's going to get a penalty, so maybe he was at fault. We will wait to see, but for the time being he can enjoy his victory on circuit, on merit. He drove brilliantly. 5.5 seconds clear of JMB Surreal, who's been fantastic this evening. Then it's J-Dog in 3rd, another podium for J-Dog. He's showing some speed in this league. Usually Toy TA is 4th, of Spaniel 5th in the end. Harran Ali 6th with his penalties. 7th goes to the Steps. 8th to Fake Knutson. 9th to Tutty Boy, and Kobe P gets a point in 10th place. Mikey, a good recovery despite his broken front wing. Once again, 2 races in a row for him. That's 11th. Sick Boy in 12th. Ricky 13th. Cable Monkey 14th. 2 retirements. T-Money and Milo Bello, sadly, just did not seem to work for those 2 in this race. So we are going to be having some interviews shortly. And we'll have a chat with the drivers. I'm more than happy to speak with anybody. But like I say, if anybody wants to join into the interview area, please do. I'm sure Gav will send out a message to everybody shortly. But if you're listening to this stream at the moment, you can do. Always more than happy to have a good chat about anything that's gone on in the race, any incidents, any happy moments for yourselves. Hopefully we'll have a couple of drivers. I know that typically Steps does join, or J-Dog joined us last week for a chat. Whether we will have our race winner join us, I don't think. I mean, Ansar is from Finland. I'm not sure how much fluent he is in English. We do have a couple of people joining him, which is good. Oh, Ansar has joined, funnily enough. So we'll potentially have a chat with him shortly. We'll wait to see if anybody else wants to get involved. There we go, a couple of other drivers now joining in as well. So we'll give it another 30 or so seconds, I think, before we chat with I think we'll chat with Ansar first in a few moments' time. So Ansar, if you can hear me, feel free to unmute your microphone and we'll have a chat in a moment. Whether Ansar is brave enough to have a chat with us is another matter. Okay, so we've got a couple of drivers in, so we'll have a...
Now the mic is on.
Hey, we can hear you, Ansar. How you doing?
Fine. We have a good fight on the first one.
Yeah,
and then the second one. Yeah.
I was going to say, 2 race wins for you. You seem to be fantastic around Qatar. What made you so quick?
A lot of testing, and because I'm doing no assist, it's kind of bad, to have new track like this, and just need to do a lot of laps.
Yeah, a lot of laps. Like you say, and I mentioned this in the stream earlier. It is a new track effectively for a number of drivers. They've not really raced around Losail before. You've won 4 in a row now, Ans, and we've got 3 rounds remaining. Is the championship yours? Do you think you're going to win it?
No, because I have done like only 2 laps in Las Vegas, and I'm gonna be off next week. I'm gonna be in Budapest watching F1, so yeah, can't do those 2 next week.
So you'll miss 2 next week. That's a shame. That'll give everyone a chance to close off the gap. But I mean, who do you think your main rivals are then? If one last question for you, who do you think your main rivals are this season for the championship?
I think we the little What is that? Yeah, that Haas guy. And then the one with Mac. What is the name? Let me check. The steps in. Yeah, steps. He's fast.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know, Ant. So, well done on your 2 victories today. You've been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, let's just wait the claims,
I'm sure everything will be fine. But well done on your 2 wins. That's really good for your championship, and we will have a chat again hopefully in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I hope so, but let's see.
All right. Thank you very much, Ant.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've had a chat with our race winner who seems very happy. We're going to cut over to our driver who finished second in the first race earlier. We had a bit of a problem in the second race, so Steps will come to you. Your mic is muted at the moment. Don't know already.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing?
Excellent. Hello.
How are you doing, Steps?
A bit frustrated about the second race, but yeah, spirits are high.
Let's talk about the first race, because you had an absolutely fantastic fight with Harren Ali. How good was that from your perspective?
It was really like what's the expression? Satisfying. You know, racing at a basically brand new track in F1, and especially when it's this like very hard to overtake outside of the 1 DRS zone. It's like I don't have the words for it. It's indescribable. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Well, that's another podium for you this season, which is good to add on for your collection. What happened in race 2 then? Because there was a lot going on in the fights through the field. We did have a safety car, which I was surprised about. But what happened in that second race?
The second race, no. First of all, I kinda butchered the qualifying. I made a few mistakes, and I could have been on the front row, but what ifs? But in the race, words escape me.
Did you get caught up in some contact or anything like that?
Yes, I did twice. Sadly, the first contact I had was unfortunately with Harun Ali in I think the second or third lap, and then the major one with the Haas, which the name I can't pronounce. You
Italy toy.
Exactly that. I'm sorry. And yeah, that killed my race. I tried to make salvage everything I could, but yeah, that's racing. That's the saying, and
we're obviously you're frustrated, and I can understand that from your perspective, having such a good race 1 and then race 2 falling apart isn't ever ideal. But looking at the season ahead, next week, Austria, Red Bull Ring, Antzar, the championship leader, isn't going to be racing that day. He's unavailable. And you are second in the drivers' standings. If you were to win a race that evening, that would put you back in the championship fight. Now, I'm not going to ask you about the championship because we'll wait and see how it goes. But is it the Red Bull Ring a track that you'd like? Are you keen on that circuit?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, who doesn't like Red Bull Ring? It's simple, it's short, it's fast, it's easy to build a setup for. And with Anza gone that weekend, I hope I can snatch the wins and catch up in the championship.
Well, I tell you what, Steps, we'll leave it there for today. You know, well done on getting a podium. I know second race didn't go to plan, but the first race was a really good fight between you and Harren, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching that fight. And hopefully next week we can see some more positive performances from yourself.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you, and see you later.
See you later. Thank you very much. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for rounds 3 and 4 here at Qatar. It's been a frenetic set of races, lots of action, lots of fighting all over the circuit, and more overtakes than most people expected, which is always a good positive to have. Next week, Gavra Racing for the Weekend League Tier 2 will be heading off over to Europe into the Austrian Grand Prix at the aforementioned Red Bull Ring. But we'll have more action from the Lusail International Circuit in an hour and a quarter time when Tier 1 will be racing around there. But I've been Jack TM53, your commentator for this evening, and wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one. See you soon.